Hello everyone, I hope you guys are all having a fabulous Monday. Today I'm coming at you with another Minks Monday Q&A. And before we get started, let me share the bag that I am currently rocking. And that is the Chanel Classic Flap in the medium large with the black caviar leather and the silver hardware. It's no surprise if you guys follow me on Instagram because I have been picturing it to death. Okay, so before I jump right into Minks Monday, I have a topic that I really wanted to share with you guys that kind of started a buzz on Instagram, I'd say probably a week ago. Okay, so one of my subbies, she received a Sarah wallet, if I'm not mistaken, for Christmas, and upon her inspecting it, she noticed that it didn't have a date code. Now, date code, sometimes it's a little bit hard because, especially if it's in microfiber, and even sometimes on the leather pieces, it's hard to see the date code. I mean, it'll be right up against the stitching, or, you know, it's difficult. But, you know, she kept looking at it and she didn't see anything on there. So she ended up calling Louis Vuitton, and Louis Vuitton told her that they are not putting date codes in any of their pieces. And that shocked me, you know, and that's where the buzz kind of started, and people were kind of were joining into the conversation. So I decided to investigate it further because that blew me away that they're not going to be adding date codes. I kind of had an idea in the back of my mind as to why they were doing it, but I called I called 3 times to the 188 number to see if the sales associates or if the representatives on the phone had the same answer. I asked my sales associate, she said she didn't have a clue, so that's why like I said before, I had to call the 188 number. So I wrote down all my notes, so forgive me if I keep looking down. Okay, so most of the bags, most of the handbags will have date codes, but some of the SLG'S will not have them. They had a policy change last year and noted that some pieces will and others won't. So when I asked the representative, I said, are there specific models that are going to have them as far as small leather goods go? Or, you know, is it only for vernis? Is it only for, you know, a set type of a leather or something to that effect? And he said no. Another sales associate said that moving forward, none of the products will have date codes because it is for their internal purposes only. Another representative told me that the date codes, they have no use for them whatsoever. It doesn't confirm authenticity. Obviously, we all know that because a lot of replicas have date codes on there anyways. But he said that we have our own way of finding out if they're authentic or not. Obviously, especially if you send it in for repair, it's going to go to the craftsmen that make the handbags or that make the pieces. So the way that I think about it, so I got, yes, we're going to be adding date codes to some pieces and some not. They're at random. I got, from now on, they will no longer have date codes. And then I also got, what was it? I keep forgetting what I'm talking about. That they are going to, there's no purpose for them to have date codes. So the way that I think about it, it's kind of all over the place. No one can give me a really straight answer. So it's kind of frustrating. And I don't know if this is only going to affect the US market. I have no idea. But the reason why I think that they're doing this, honestly, wholeheartedly, I think it's because they are having a hard time with the super fakes. The super fakes out there, or the super replicas, are, I believe they're in ranges of AA or AAA quality or something like that. I think it's like AAA plus quality. They are getting so much harder to find out if they're authentic or not. So I feel that they are adding date codes possibly, but I think that they're putting them into the folds or into underneath the stitching, so where it's not visible to our eyes. You know, you'd have to literally rip the bag apart in order to be able to find it. So I think it's that, I think they're doing it one step further to ensure that something's authentic, you know, because as I said before, super fakes are out there, and some of them are so incredibly hard to tell if they're authentic or not. You know, I've told you guys before that one of my sales associates, or you know, one of my friends, when we were down there, she said that they were getting harder and harder to find out. So, you know, I think it's good, and I think it's bad. Do I think it will affect the resale process? Until it's public information, until it's publicly known and you know everyone knows about it, I think it might be a little bit difficult to sell in the beginning. because whoever's buying it from you might think, okay, it's supposed to have a date code. Where is the date code? This is a replica, and things like that. So it might be a little bit harder in the beginning, but once it's common knowledge and once everyone knows about it, it might be a little bit easier. But I don't know, as I said before, if this only affects the US market. I don't know if it's select items. I don't know if it's just SLG's, because one of the representatives said that they will still have them in the handbags. You know, but I honestly think that they're putting another added feature to the bags inside where we can't see them. That way, if we do have to send them in for repair or something like that, they'll be able to tell. I don't know. Like I said before, even, okay, let's say you don't take it in for repair. Let's say that you want the sales associate to look over it. Maybe they're doing training on that, so that way they can see if maybe there's an odd stitching or something that only internal people will know, as far as Louis Vuitton employees and things like that. People like that would know, and we wouldn't know. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's kind of funky, but I thought I would come on here and I would tell you guys kind of what I found out. Let me look through my notes one more time to see if there's anything. So, and the reason why I don't think that they're not doing specific models is because they want to, I think that maybe they're doing it only selectively to certain items, and they're, you know, maybe three solis will have date codes and then the fourth one won't, you know what I mean? Kind of to try to throw off, people that are trying to do replicas. I don't know. But like I said before, I just thought I would share my thoughts with you guys on this and bring you guys up to what was going on Instagram a few weeks ago, or last week, I think. Last week or the week before. I don't even remember. All right, so let's get started with the very first question. Sharon Miller. I know you don't do disclaimers on your videos. I love it, but can I ask why? Sure. I think I did a total of 2 disclaimers once upon a time, probably 2.5 years ago. And the reason why I stopped doing them is because, you know, people, if it's someone that's not subscribed to my channel, or if it's someone that doesn't, you know, follow me, they don't have to follow me daily or things like that, but they're going to have a set idea in their mind, you know, and sometimes when people open up my videos, not you guys, but when people open up my videos, they'll see all the dust bags in the back and they already have an idea. Okay, this girl is this, and this. So if I do a disclaimer, I can tell them till I'm blue in the face, you know, but they're not going to believe me. They already have an idea. They've already formed an opinion about me. And it's kind of like, okay, whatever. They're going to think what they want. So there's no reason in trying to persuade them otherwise, or, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, that's why I don't do it. There's no, it doesn't matter to me, you know, because for those of you that love my videos and like my videos and enjoy watching my videos, you guys know that I'm not on here to be like, oh my God, look at what I got. You know what I mean? I don't do that. If anything, I tried to give you guys my 2 cents on the luxury world, you know, so did I say it like that? World? I had a hard time saying that. But anyways, yeah, that's why I don't do it. I figure it is what it is, you know, and at the end of the day, a hater's going to hate no matter what. And especially cyber trolls, when they're purposely looking for luxury YouTubers, or, you know, they'll just say, like I said, nasty things just to say it because they don't know anything about the person. So I don't really care. Okay, Jess Munoz 4. I've noticed several YouTubers that have been on YouTube for a while and have taken a break and haven't been making videos. Do you think you'll end up doing the same, where it's not fun for you anymore? Or are you making YouTube your new career? No, I'm not making YouTube my new career. It is definitely still a hobby of mine. And I will tell you guys that if I ever get the feeling that it's not fun anymore, like one of my very, very good friends on YouTube, the feeling wasn't there anymore. It wasn't, it didn't, I don't know. I won't make videos if I'm not happy making videos, because as I said before, you guys will know from the look on my face, from the tone of my voice, from everything, if I'm not happy doing something. And as of right now, I love what I'm doing. How great would that be if I could make this my career? It'd be awesome. But no, it's still definitely a hobby of mine that I thoroughly enjoy making or doing, and I'm so glad that you guys enjoy the videos that I do. Okay, Miss Michelle Lee, where and how did you come along with your username? username. Okay, so I get a ton of questions about this. And this goes back, some people are kind of just, they think that Minks for All stands for me, saying yes to mink wearers out there and fur this and fur that. That is not the intended purpose of my name by any means whatsoever. Okay, so for those of you that have been following me for a while, you guys know what Minks for All stands for. But for my new Sebbies, my real name is Minerva. And once upon a time, there was a cartoon character named Minerva Mink. She was a mink, and her name was Minerva. So, I fell in love with that because there's not too many. There's really no cartoons that have Minerva, let alone any movies. I think I can count on one hand how many times I've heard my name in a movie. So I was really, really excited, and I think she's blonde, which is kind of funny because obviously I'm a brunette, but it's Minerva Mink, so I figured the for all part is because I'm here for all of you guys. So it's Mink for All. So it's not, yay to fur and yay to this. That's not what it is whatsoever. It's just that my name is Minerva, so I just thought it sounded good. I don't know. I really liked the way that the ring that it had to it. But can you imagine if it said Minerva for All? It's even hard for me to say. So I thought Minks for All was pretty cool. So that is what my name, my YouTube username stands for. Okay, Love Is Who I Am. What are you listening to musically? Yesterday for me, it was Christian/gospel, Barry White, and Sade. Today the sounds will be eclectic with some exception of modern rap/hip hop and pop. Okay, so I wrote down not my current playlist because I listen to a ton of music all the time. But the top, I don't know, like 7 songs, maybe 6. I can't really count very, very well because I just kind of wrote it down everywhere. But this is what's currently on my playlist. At the moment, the song that I listen to when I first wake up is Masquerade Waltz by St. Petersburg State Symphony Orchestra. I love that song. Beautiful classical song. I have Oh My Love from John Lennon. I have Ask the Lonely from Journey. Sway by Dean Martin. Gratitude by Oingo Boingo, Killing Me Softly with His Song by the Fugees, Jukebox Hero by Foreigner, and I also have Rhythm Nation by Janet Jackson. So those are just some of the songs that are currently on my playlist. I don't know. I guess you could say I like a lot of 80s music as I'm looking at it, but yeah, they put me in a good mood, and I listen to them nonstop, so yeah, that's currently what's on my playlist. Okay, Brandy Loves Beauty. What do you think about the Palm Springs Mini? Okay, so for those of you that don't know, the Palm Springs Mini is it's a little nano looking backpack from Louis Vuitton. They have 3 different sizes, and the Mini retails for $15.90 here in the States. I love that bag. That bag has caused such a buzz on YouTube, on Instagram, and last I heard there was only a handful left in the US. So, I mean, if you guys are interested, snatch one up. What I really like about it is the fact that it looks really good. Crossbody, you can hand carry it. My good friend Jackie just got one and she loves it. But the best thing about it is that it doesn't have any vachetta. So it just has black leather where the vachetta would normally be. So you don't have to worry about patina. How awesome is that? It's a great city bag. And I like the Mini, but I like the MM size just because I like bigger backpacks. And I've even thought about selling mine so I can get that one. But I was watching another YouTuber, Queen Cats, and she got the MM, and she said that the only downside to the backpack is the fact that the zippers are a little bit flimsy. They're not as sturdy, and seeing as how that's the way that you go inside of the backpack, there's no other way to get inside of the backpack, she feels that they might end up wearing a little bit quicker than anything else. So that was good to know, but I am very, very much so excited about the Mini backpack. Okay. Miss Legal Diva. Minnie, I'm eyeing the new Louis Vuitton Millier bag. Have you seen it? It's a cross between the Sully and the Matisse Hobo. It's gorgeous, but I've only seen it online. I don't have any Hobo bags, but I plan to go into the boutique and compare it to the Artsy. For those of you that don't know the Millier, if I'm saying it correct, it retails for $19.60 here in the States, and as she said, it has very similar characteristics to the Matisse Hobo, more so than the Sully. And it's available in the monogram canvas, and the really cool thing is that the bag charm that it comes with is a little mini luggage tag. So So it's really, really cute. The only downside to, in my opinion, as far as this hobo goes, is the fact that it's a north-south handbag. So it's taller than it is, you know, than it's wide. And that kind of bugs me. And what I like about the Artsy, in the difference between this one, is the fact that the Artsy is fatter and it's taller. So it's to me, it's a little bit more proportionate. So it makes it a little bit easier for me to find my things or add things in there. But I still think this Millier looks really, really beautiful. And hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. I have no idea. But it is quite pricey, so it's I think it's the same price, right? Maybe $10 more expensive than the Artsy. But what I don't like about it is the handle on top. It reminds me too much of the Soli, as you said before. And the Soli handle I did not like. That is why I ended up getting rid of that bag. It was just, it just ended up getting too much in the way. And I don't feel that the Artsy has that same problem. But yeah, so hopefully you get one of the two. Okay, Squealer49. It seems like U.S. consumers are getting shoddy treatment from Louis Vuitton as a whole. I'm not happy about that. Do you have any idea why that is? First, the cloth made in the U.S. tag, then discontinuing the multicolor and other items in the U.S. only. What's with Louis Vuitton's disrespect for U.S. consumers? I have not a single clue. You know, part of me thinks that, you know, it's a French company, so maybe they want to cater to you know, to overseas more than the U.S. I have no idea, but especially with what I just told you guys about the date codes. Can you imagine if it's only in the U.S.? That would that would be terrible. You know, because as you said before with the cloth tag, I hated it. You know, a lot of us here in the U.S. don't like it, and then yeah, they've discontinued so many great things with us. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. I wish I knew why they don't like us. Okay, Tony V, since you mentioned that your sales associate left Louis Vuitton, how did you go about building a relationship with another SA? Do you guys see Edward? Didn't it feel like you had to start over? My SA left Louis Vuitton to go to Bottega. I don't feel the same going into the store. Kind of. I've actually had to transition from 3 separate sales associates to the one that I have now inside of Neiman Marcus. And it was actually a really smooth transition, because the first SA that I had, she was the store manager for Louis Vuitton inside of Neiman's, and she left to go to the Wynn in Las Vegas. And when she was in the process of leaving, I had another sales associate who I would kind of, when Natalie wasn't there, I would go into the boutique and this other sales associate would help me. Her name was Cheryl. So it made it really, really easy for me to transition once Natalie left. So then Cheryl left, and during the time that she was about to leave, that's when me and Pedro and I kind of had our good relationship. So again, it was a smooth transition, and that's kind of the way that it started with the current SA that I have down at Neiman's. But no, I didn't really, I'm thankful that I didn't have to start all over again, but I can definitely understand that. And it's kind of like when I go into new boutiques people that I don't really know. As you can tell, he's closing his eyes because I'm scratching him. But it's hard because you have to develop that relationship all over again. So it's definitely not something easy to do. But I think if you have a good personality, and if the sales associate has a good personality, you guys will just end up clicking, and it'll be really, really easy. Okay, Matthew Din, have you ever thought about getting the Louis Vuitton and Christian Louboutin collaboration bag? Never. I was disappointed. I personally was disappointed with the collaboration, but however, I can definitely appreciate it from an artistic point of view, but they weren't for me. Leah R. Silva, do you recommend building my handbag collection or SLG collection? What do you advise new Louis Vuitton lovers? Because my mind is all over the place. Next, I want a bag, SLG wallet. I don't know. I'm so confused, and it changes daily. This is a great, great question. I actually get this question quite a bit. And personally, the way that I think it can be overwhelming, you know, because as you said, do you want to get a wallet? Do you want to get a bag? Do you want to get this? Do you want to get that? And it's just kind of all over the place. And honestly, if you want to add the staple classics to your collection, such as for SLG, such as a clay, or if you want to add a Sarah wallet or something like like that, those will be a little bit easier to add later on if you want to, because they're always going to be around. They've been around forever, versus you wanting to get a bag that maybe is not a classic style. So if you want to get a Speedy, if you want to get a Neverfull, those have been around for quite some time now. So those are the classics. If you have your eye on a limited edition bag, if you have your eye on a limited edition color, on a limited or on a seasonal color, I would go for those first, because those would be the quickest to go. And then you can focus on getting the classics, because as I said before, the classics will always be there. So it's kind of having to break up the want list or the wish list into top priority and things that you know, you can get at any time. But I would go with something that, or let's say you just want all classics, right? Let's say you want Neverfulls and Speedies, and you want the Clays and the Sarah Wallets. It's a matter of, if you already have one bag, I would start on the SLG'S, just because SLG'S, I personally get more use out of them. Yes, I rotate my bags, but I interact with the SLG'S a lot more than I do with the handbag, because the handbag just pretty much holds the items and it's pretty to look at. But that's what I would do. I would start off with SLG'S if you want to go with the classics. If not, then it's what I said previously. Okay, Megan Elizabeth, did you ever have the Louis Vuitton Sully bag? I was debating between that and the artsy and leaning more towards the Zilla. My goodness. I was debating between that and the artsy and leaning more towards the Sully because it has a zip top. What is wrong with me today? What are your thoughts? Thank you. I did have the Sully, and I will tell you, between that and the artsy, there is no comparison. They do have similar features because they both are hobos, and you know, and I will tell you guys, again, when it came to the artsy, I wasn't a fan of it at all in the beginning. You know, I thought it was very, very pretty, but I just didn't see what the big deal was, you know. I got one in my collection because I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I even thought about selling it because the bag it wasn't something that I thought I would want in my collection. Now I tell you, I love that bag. I cannot imagine that I was going to sell that bag because it is so, so beautiful. And I don't think it's comparable. However, I will say that if you need more security, the Sully is a great bag for that, but I don't like the handle because it tends to kind of get in the way. But the artsy is a little bit taller. So, and the way that it hangs on your shoulder, I don't feel that it's too easy to be able to reach into. So it still has some type of security to it. But personally, I think that the artsy is better than the Sully. Okay, and this is the last question. Bess Galt, have you ever experienced a bad/rude, I'm sorry, I have two more questions. Have you ever experienced a bad/rude sales associate at Louis Vuitton? And if so, how did you handle it? In the beginning, when I first started going into Louis Vuitton, not the Neiman's that I talked about, because Natalie was awesome. She was just a wonderful, wonderful person to be able to talk with. When I first kind of jumped into before I really jumped into the luxury world, I would go into the boutiques, and I am telling you guys, I was intimidated as ever. I was scared. I was nervous. I remember when I get nervous, my palms get really sweaty, and I would get that way. And you know, I felt that when I walked in, that the sales associates would be able to smell my nervousness, or, you know, my fear, that they'd be like, oh, this is a new person that doesn't know anything, you know, and I was terrified. And I went to the same boutique a few times, and one of the sales associates there, thank goodness she doesn't work there anymore, she was such a bee. Oh my gosh. She was rude. She was short. You know, every time I'd ask about something, it's kind of like, don't you know? It was so frustrating, you know? So it further intimidated me into going into another Louis Vuitton store, you know, because I figured they're all the same. So then I started doing some research, and I remember one of my sales associates at Chanel, she told me that it's always easier if you have an idea as to what you want, because we have so many different items when it comes to Chanel. Because Chanel, if you say, I want a quilted flap, there's so many quilted flaps, right? But if you go into Louis Vuitton and you say, I'd like a Speedy 35, really, there's only so many you can pick from, you know? So I did my research, and I went back to the boutique, and I asked the sales associate, I said, I asked her a question about, I can't even remember what it was, but I remember, I mean, I feel like it just happened yesterday. When she answered my question, she had no clue what she was talking about. She gave me a whole bunch of BS. she just kind of, you know, fluffed her answer as best as she could. And then she goes, that's why. I knew the reason why, because I had done the research. And at that moment, until that moment, I always had sales associates up on this huge pedestal, you know, like they're untouchable. They're these wonderful people, blah, 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 whatever. After that incident with that sales associate, that pedestal went down. I figured, you know what, some of these people don't even know what the heck they're talking about, you know. And after that, I ended up walking out. I didn't go in there until, I don't know, a few months later, and I walked in like no big deal, you know. I had the same rude sales associate. She asked me, she said, is there anything you'd like to see? And I remember she rolled her eyes, and I looked at her, and you know what? I'm the type of person that when someone, if I go into a boutique, if I go into a store and someone has a bad attitude now, you know, I'll call them out on it, you know. And some people have said, oh, what if they're having a bad day? What if they're having this? I don't care, because I worked in customer service for so many years, and they always taught me to leave my problems at the door. And if I'm going to have a problem doing that, then not to show up to work, call in sick or do whatever, you know. In a sense, you're representing the company. So for someone to have a crappy, shitty attitude, it doesn't make it all right for them to you know, portray that onto everyone else that they're helping. So I looked at the sales associate and I said, do you have a problem? You know, if you don't want to help me, then I'll be more than happy to talk to someone else. And she looked at me, she's like, oh, no. And she changed her tune. And after that, she was super, super sweet. And then she ended up leaving, I think, after like 6 months or something like that. Who knows what happened to her. But I called her out on it, and then her attitude changed immediately. And it's just like, now they're normal people like you and me, you know what I mean? And I will never hold them to a higher standard. I will never say that, oh, they're this, and that. They're so wonderful. They're so this, you know, they're bound to make mistakes just like you and I are, you know, but I will never, ever, ever be intimidated by another sales associate ever again. If I don't like the way that I'm being treated, if I feel like they're being short with me, if I feel like they're, you know, trying to give me the runaround, I will always ask for someone else, or I will, you know, I will call them out on it. And, there's been other times that I'm a lot nicer than I was with this particular sales associate, but at that moment, I could not handle it anymore. I was up to here with listening to her and looking at, or taking the bad customer service that I was getting from her. So at that moment, I said, you know what, I'm done. I am done. I am not going to be nice to you. But like I said before, you can always ask for a new sales associate. You can call them out on it. And sometimes, you know, they might have a little bit more respect for someone if they're like, oh, they're trying, you know, they're letting me know what's going on. But I don't know. It depends. It all depends. But yeah. That was probably one of the worst experiences I had, and it happened all, you know, throughout a couple months. So, okay. And last question is from April Paul Bear. And this question, I actually had 3 different people ask me similar questions, so I kind of added them all together. I'm looking at the 6 key holder, and I can't decide between the Cherry Vernis or the Damier Ben. I want a piece that will stand the test of time and wear beautifully. Any advice that you can share is so welcomed and appreciated. Okay, so, you know, Vernis is a little bit more... you have to be a little bit more careful with it. However, it is very, very durable. When it comes to the 6-ring key holder, I am the type of person that I am extremely careless with my keys. You know, I've told you guys before, I have dropped them on concrete, on dirt, on gravel, on what have you, not on purpose, but, you know, if I'm trying to get in, I don't know, it just happens. You know, they'll fall on the asphalt. And the reason why I personally wouldn't get Vernis, as beautiful as it is, trust me, it is gorgeous, is because if it ever fell on the ground, I wouldn't want to see the indentations of the dirt, the gravel, the concrete, the asphalt, or anything like that onto the piece. I would be devastated if something happened to it. And like I said before, it is durable, but you can't be as careless to a certain extent with a Vernis piece as you would with a canvas piece. Because canvas, I mean, you can scratch it, it can rain, it what have you, nothing will really happen to it. But with Vernis, I think you just have to be a little bit more careful. And when it comes to my keys, you guys know that my all-time favorite SLG is the 6 key holder. I don't want to have to baby it. That is why I stuck with canvas. So hopefully I was able to help you guys out. Okay, so that does it for Minks Monday Q&A. I got some great questions, so thank you guys so much for that. And I think for the next Q&A, I was thinking, or maybe not next one, maybe the week after that, I was thinking about doing a personal Q&A because it's been it'll be almost 2 years that I've done the Who is Minks for All Q&A. And even then, that one wasn't really a full-on Q&A. It was more so me telling you guys about me. But since then, I've gained quite a bit of subbies. So maybe they haven't seen it, maybe they have, I don't know. But I'd want to be able to share a little bit more of myself with you guys. So let me know if you guys want me to do a personal Q&A. Like I said, I don't know if I'll do it next week. Probably not. So I'll probably do it the week after. But yeah, so get your questions ready. And no, I might not answer all of them because I do want to keep some things personal. But I'm still interested to see what you guys have to say. So that does it for Minks Monday. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you all tomorrow. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not. The choice is yours. Have a great day, you guys.